Hello my dear viewers, my name is Alexandra and you're at the channel Cards and Roses. Today is a video. In a video we will discuss the situation around Marius Borg Høybi, the gentleman of 29 years old, currently, if I may say this word, attending the court of Norway under the persecution of various bad deeds, including accusation of raping. Everything that happened in the rich houses of Oslo and the flat of one of the most established district of Oslo that calls Frogner. Terrible, absolutely terrible case, and I only can applaud to the Norwegian court that they did not cover eyes on this case, because it's a son of this Norwegian princess that is actually now also apparently had a conversation with Epstein. Terrible situation. So I only can applaud to Norwegian justice system, who pushes these cases up, who pushes justice in this situation, because what happened is terrible. I will use today the deck of Patrick Valencia. Amazing deck. Like it a lot. And I will ask today the 5 questions, including the general situations, the hidden influences, the relationship with mother, what he actually did in a situation with these ladies and in these parties, and where that court leads. So what is the possible outcome of this court for this gentleman? Okay, let's start. First question, the general situation. You can see cards now on the screen. How I'm doing it. So the card on the left, it's a representation of a present. The card on the right, it's a not long past. The card in the bottom, it's a representation of a basement of a situation, or it's a long past, if you can see it this way, if you want to see it this way. The card in the hat, it's what's in the hat, also the possible influence of a future or possible outcome of a future. And the card in the center, it's a card, so on a hat, so what's, if you want to say what's going on in the soul of this a person. So the situation of Marius Høybi now, what's going on with him in the present? The 2 of Pentacles, he has the 2 opportunities. I don't know, maybe with maybe related to the court, but this card is also reflecting the, let's say, the sexual sphere of the life, and it feels like he tries to perform some tricks with these 2 pentacles to get out of this situation without any consequences for him. In the past, he has a 4 of Pentacle, and he holds to his pentacles from past, and this is fantastic how Patrick Valencia performs the picture for this card. The skeleton lady holds the gentleman together with his 4 pentacles to the fire. For me, it's the best explanation of what's going on in the past. So on the one side, the past does not exist anymore. On the other side, he's holding to the past, to the good stuff, to this probably the situation of safety where he relied on the family, or relied on some support, or relied on his money, which are money over family actually. And he's saying if you would hold it like this, and saying it will be fine, but it will not be fine. It will not be fine, and actually that a situation of holding to something could lead to this terrible deeds, to this terrible, I don't know which word to say here, to this terrible situations with the ladies, and to what he did to them in order to hold to what he thought it's protecting him. right? So, in the long past, tens of swords. In the long past, it's a tens of swords. Past is out, actually, right? The tens of swords saying us that the situation is out. It's out. Feeder saying. It's a, you need to let it go. You need to stop holding on it. You need to understand it. At the same time, it's some terrible situation that, let's say, damaged a person. So what happened actually in his past brings us a lot to think. And first of all, I would ask that the relationship with the family, relationship with the mother, what happened there? What happened? We will see in the next round, because I will put cards layer on layer. It's very interesting how they perform together, how they walk together, how they're telling the story. Okay, heart. 2 wands. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. But again, Patrick Valencia brings us amazing visual image that this lovely gentleman with the 2 wands is trying to perform his walk on the ice. Ice is slippery. It could be also thin. And at the same time, it's cold. Would it have? Would it have? In general, positive card, but it's not a card of action. It's not a card of results, right? For card of results, you need like a king or something. And obviously, in his situation, I don't know actually what good to say to say about it. I understand that this person has psychological issues. I understand that probably his childhood, including all these cameras and attention and so on and so forth, including presence in this king's family, and also unclear what's going on there, right? What was going on there. It was not easy. And his psyche was formed under these particular circumstances. But at the same time, then you need to look for the search, and particularly in Norway, it is available. It is available. Especially if you're from a privileged family. Like, it's possible. And try to compensate your problem with prohibited substances and doing such a terrible abuse to the ladies. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Terrible. Okay, and in the heart, it's a 2 of wands. I'm sorry, it's a 2 of swords. Covering eyes on a situation. Once again, it's a 3 cards in this horizontal covering eye in the situation, saying everything will be fine. Trying to jingle with 2 pentacles and trying to walk on thin ice. Now let's see how second question, what influences the situation. And in our present, it's a Knight of Wands. It's a very interesting, because one of the meanings of this card that it's a card of prohibited substances, or abusing the substances, and of being not sober, let's say it this way. And in general, I can say that the Knight of Wands, I mean, it's a good card. Yeah, he can be crazy. He can be too much energetic, but he has a good intention, so to say. But at the same time, the same Knight of Wands can be under something. I don't know if I may say the names of the substances in the YouTube, or they will block me, so I will say the substances, okay? It's clear what is it. And then you just try to ride somewhere on a sort of a dead beetle, and it's nonsensical, and playing with your 2 pentacles at the same time, making face that everything is fine, making face that it's fun, and saying, oh, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun? Seriously, fun is to being sober. That's a fun. If you cannot have fun and be sober, I'm sorry. Learn how to do it. I'm against the alcoholism and so on ism. Sorry. recent past. Ace of Swords, some good thoughts actually, some good apparently decisions, and maybe some good opportunities, trying maybe to cut the strings, trying behind the scenes to cut the strings attached to the bad situations, and so on. Maybe he trying to solve this abuse problem with a lady somehow without a court. Interesting thought, unclear, right? Long-term past, Tower, that's obviously fallen apart, and laid down to the 10th of Swords. I would call it in this situation such a tough past with a lot of heat, and moreover started to break down unwillingly in a harsh way. Oi, 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 oi. Such a sad sentence. It's a past on which you cannot rely on. You cannot rely on such kind of past, and very tough to process it. It's very tough to process. Bad situation. In a hard judgment. Who would doubt? Now the BBC has an article about him, now the people discussing what he did, and in this kind of situation I will read the judgment as a judgment. He got judgment from people, and he got it for a reason. Making face at everything fine. Yeah, terrible. And in the heart it's a wheel of fortune, with the hope that everything will be fine. Will it be fine? For now it laid down on a 2 of Swords, so it's unclear actually. Will it be fine or not will it be fine? Because in general, the Wheel of Fortune is a good card, including that it's a card of interaction between the generations, connection between the generations. So probably anticipation of help from mother, and that leads us to the next question about the relationship with mother. Before I start reading the next card, I want to say that such a words go into the heart. Stupidity and nonsense, and inability to accept reality of what's going on with you. Inability to accept that you're an ass and you don't know what to do with it. I fucking accept it. Considering the fact that particularly this gentleman, the Marius gentleman, he had a lot of support from family, a lot of money from family, and living in Norway. I don't know what to say here. Because I understand him from one side, that he has his problems. But on the other side, there is a solution of these problems. There is an attempt to solve these problems. Where is it? Private parties in expensive houses is not a solution. Right, so relationship with mother is the first card. Queen of Cups, the caring lady. No, yeah, I have no doubt that he has an okay relationship with his mother. According to the BBC article, he said, I'm just a mama's boy. I don't know, it's also his justification, or he wanted to be just his mama's boy. So, unclear. Just a mama's boy in the past. The 3 of Wands leads me to the idea that a mama has plans to her mama's boy. Mama has plans to her mama's boy. And the mama's boy could not leave this mama's house, because the mama said, well, of course you can, but maybe we can think about other options. And then other options are all options that are useful for the mother and not for this gentleman. So it brings a question, does he think with his heart? Does he think with his head, the long-term past, the rich lady. I have an impression this is around with the question about his relationship with his mother. For now, that was 3 cards, and the words they are coming, it's only about his mother. So where is he in a relationship with his mother? Terrible. Terrible. In hand, the 6 of Cups, the image of Patrick Valens brings us many thoughts about it, but here I was thinking about the classical card of Rider-Waite-Smith. I would say that he thinks, he hopes, so his thoughts about the situation with the mother, it's a sort of like in a good childhood, everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is probably fine, to some extent, and to some extent not. And that leads us to the card that lays down on the heart. It's a Ace of Cups, and here it's a terrible thought. Here it's just a terrible thought, because it's a card, it's actually a sexual card, it's a card of sex. What to say here? Nothing to say here. And that brings me to the idea of this unsolved Oedipal complex. And all this very super complicated intentions and thoughts and feelings, and since in our amazing society all of it is a full taboo until now, including all these words of Freud and Jung and this and that, and successes and development of a psychology, and that is the sort of normalized to go to psychology and so on and so forth. It's a still taboo to discuss openly, at least with yourself, and to accept openly all range of your feelings, of your emotions, of your thoughts. And this is essential, because in this way you accept the body. Without it, you're doing what you were told, fine and good. Now, according to his own words, it's good to be mama's boy. Oh, my ladies and gentlemen, that's not good, that's not good. Okay, we have 2 more questions. So what happened? So the next question, what hypothetically happened in this private parties? Now, first card 2 of Cups, I think talks to us. It's flirted some romantic, some intimacy moments laid down on a lady with Cups, or some ladies with a feeling, some ladies that are sensual, interesting ladies, no, who would doubt? Recent parts, the Hangman, very interesting that in this question it was 3 major arcana: Hangman, the World, and the Sun. Very tough situation. There are some authors saying that when you have a lot of major arcana in your spread, it's a so-called karmic situation. I don't see it as a karmic situation. I don't know what is karmic situation, but I see it with the terminology of Jung, saying that you will not run away from your shadow. So it is some long-term suppressed, outpressed problems, feelings, thoughts, emotions, wished that get in you. That are getting you because you cannot run away from your own shadow. So the Hangman in a recent past, it tells us about some frozen time. A time of no movement, a time where you could be victim, a time where you don't know what to do. That is a very versatile, very complicated card, and for this particular reading, very, very interesting, the card of a frozen time. Maybe it's a lost time for him. Lost time. Interesting. So, in a hat, the world. But maybe he always had 2 ladies. Oh, no. Focus! Focus! Camera. Focus. Okay, camera doesn't want to focus on the world, but the point is the lady, the world card, she has a two sticks. So my idea is here that maybe he always had the two options, two ladies, two parties, two some sort, and it reflects here with this first lady with the two pentacles that thinks how to jingle out of situation. It reflects here with the two of cups, right? Very interesting, but very bad at the same time, because it's like in the head it will be fine, right? It again will be repeated, again there will be more party, more ladies, more situations, less justice, no justice. At the same time, in the head it lays down, yeah, those are 4 cards in a heart. Very interestingly, the Judgment, number 20, made the world, number 21. One can say that this judgment that he got now from the official governmental office, from the justice system, and from the people, and also these ladies as they are witnessing in the court, right? It will go to the end. It will not be just war. It will go to the end. Eyes will not help, and the good childhood memories also will not help. Ay, ay, ay. In the past, 7th of Pentacles, so he understood he did a wrong move. It's sort of when you plant the wrong garden, the wrong plants, to don't have harvest from it. He did bad. Moreover, here the lady is standing at a tree, and from a tree there is a drop of blood. He did not do good. What happened there? It was not good. And the sun here, I again want to say that I hope that everything will be fine. I'm just thinking that the sun is one of the best cards of a deck. It's very hard to read it in a bad meaning, and I'm just thinking that maybe from his perspective he did not do anything bad, and from his perspective in his head he sort of had a burnt, very funny say, burnt conscious part from the substances that alternate the state of mind, if I say it this way. And then he saw that everything is fine by sun, right? Then we can do a bit of sex with the Ace of Cups. Then it will be fine again because the fortune will be on our side. And I will cover my eyes. When I woke up next morning, it will be fine. I will cover my eyes on it, and then again will be fine, with a repetition. And that's theoretically not bad cards on his deeds. Do not give me a good feeling that somehow it's trying to make a good face on a very bad play, and then it makes sense now with the Hangman on the right and his frozen time, how I said it before, that sort of this time, that frozen time that will get him. The situation of a hangman will get the person. That's a sort of that's a trick that cannot, the hangman cannot be hanged forever. It doesn't work this way. So for example, about the hangman, the good meaning of this card, for example, that a person sort of victimizes a part of his life, over time, over money, over effort, over energy to the studies, to study. This is a sort of also the situation of a hangman, right? But this is a kind of different type of a situation. But as a study will have end, his deeds, and this situation also will have end. And I'm not sure that a sun here will be pleasantly warm. I believe it will be unpleasantly burning. Such a weird thought here that Sex itself can be burning, right? It can be good, it can be very bad. It can be fulfilling, and it can drain you in a way that you're losing and losing and losing and losing and losing and losing yourself at the same time thinking that it's a fun. And that could be that it actually also happened to him. Could be obviously not. And for men it's different than for ladies, and I believe that for ladies it's a much tougher situation of for example one-night stands or bad sex and so on. But for men it also can be bad. Last question, how the court will end up for him, hypothetically obviously. I will start reading with a central card on a heart. This one card, 8 of Pentacles, is actually a card of prison. It can be the card of prison. So I think he would go to prison maybe for the 8 years. Maybe for the 8 years. Currently persecution asks for 16. Let's say here hypothetically at least 8. I don't know. Yeah, I believe for his sexual stuff with the Ace of Cups here. It will be mostly. But there are also other stuff. So currently the 5th of Wands, the gentlemen that are fighting, it's also the situation of court, right? In a recent past, the Queen of Wands, that could be his mother, tried to help him, tried to get some help maybe from her. So the recent past is Queen of Wands, the helpful lady, that probably his mother. In a past, in a long-term past in foundation, it's a 5th of Pentacles. It's a very interesting card. It's a very hard card. I want to perform a video about my adventures with 5th of Pentacle. It's just terrible. It's terrible. And until, it's a little spoiler about the 5th of Pentacle, from my point of view, until you don't understand what's going on, like with you in this situation, you cannot leave it. But in general, it's a card of also diseases. It's a card of lack of money, of a lack of help. At the same time, you like sort of the help is always next to you, but you don't understand how to get it. You don't understand how to get it. It's a very interesting. And in this particular reading, I see it as a positive card because for him, it's a way to leave his a family house, to leave the situation finally. Tough way. No justification for what he did to ladies. No justification. No. In a hat, the Lady of Swords with a knife. This is so interesting. In this particular reading, I will read her as a lady from Justice. I can try to find the Justice lady from the Patrick Valenza, but for me, that's sort of right. Because here she also has... Oh! See? She also has two, but I would say that the Queen of Swords, it's much harder. It's a clear, structured, strong, tough solutions with execution. With the execution, and he knows about it. It's in his head. And I said, last one in the heart, it's a 8 of Pentacles. In this situation, it's a prison. I cannot read it anyway because it has several meanings, but here you. Nation, Sagittarius reading, very hard today. Oh. I feel relief that it ended up. That it ended. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you a very good day. Take care and see you next time. Ciao.